Hello everyone, مرحبا بكم معنا في the second episode of EUC Talks, Season 2, where we bring alumni and experts from industrial engineering to discuss their journeys. Today I'm Zakaria Abdelbasat and I'll be your host. I'm a final year industrial engineering student and I'm really pleasured and honored to have with me today Mrs. Reem Khalil. Hello Mrs.
Hi, Zakaria. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So, Mrs. Reem Khalil is a person whom I consider an icon for for us as an industrial engineering community. So, hello again, Mrs.
So, as you said, my name is Rim Khalil. I am an industrial engineer alumni, graduated in 2006. It's been a while, okay?
It's been a while.
I am, as you said, I am head of the supply chain services in SLB, which was previously Schlumberger. Company based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and overseeing the supply chain services for the Asia and Middle East geographies.
Okay.
I am married, a mom of two kids, 12 and 13 years old, and very passionate about literature as well.
Inspiring, thank you. So now to have, a proper start, so could you walk us through your academic journey since you were a l'École nationale polytechnique alumna?
Things that I took away from Polytech, I remember the hard work. So hard work is in my DNA anyways, but I feel like I reached a little bit of a peak of hard working in ENP. It was super intense. It was also from a takeaway. I remember like a huge sense of community, which I really loved. I think which kept us surviving that really intense rhythm, and friendship that are alive until today, and I think for life. So obviously beyond all the educational background that we gained from Polytechnic School, because the level was and is still, I guess, extremely good, extremely high. So we gained a lot from an educational standpoint, from a skill set and so on. There are those two elements. I can remember Polytech as being like a very intense, hard-working time and full of very solid friendships.
Yeah, I can confirm it's always the
Still
case.
the same?
Yes, it's always the same, always high demand, and so it's still the case. So at your phase of l'EMP, you chose to be in the industrial engineering major, right? How was the experience? Why can you tell us more about this choice exactly?
All right, I might disappoint some, but the reality, and being fully honest and transparent, the reality is that I picked génie industriel, industrial engineering, just because I didn't know what to pick. I did not have a clear visibility. I had in my environment some people who seemed to really know where they were aiming to be. Like they knew clearly what kind of career they would have, they wanted, and what their destination or what does good look like was pretty clear for them. It was not. I mean, I had some high level ambition. I knew, for example, that I wanted to experience international career, things like that. But what exact job, what specialty was not clear. So I remember when, I don't know how is it, it might seem very outdated what I'm gonna tell, but at our time they used to rank, we go through those 2 years of Sciences Fondamentales or Prépa, whatever it's called, yeah. And they used to rank the students, and then one by one, based on your ranking, you would pick the specialty you want, and then when you reach the capacity of the specialty, they just lock that specialty.
So that's still the case.
Okay, cool. Maybe not in the same way. Maybe it's more digital, whatever. So I remember, like, I was super hard worker. I ranked super good in the Sciences Fondamentales, and then And then I remember when I just didn't know, and then Génie Industriel was kind of the choice of, I thought, leaving me the broadest opportunities. So because I didn't know, I thought that if I pick automatic, it will very likely be something close to automatic that I will pick, which is not true at the end of the day. But that's the how I chose Génie Industriel.
So I don't know if you would agree with me, but having this background and the industrial engineering background exactly can always have a contribution on shaping the person's abilities and way of thinking, and it even goes further. I mean, it integrates his lifestyle even. So have you felt like this contribution, not your case?
Yeah, I guess we have a genetic background. If I talk about myself, definitely, and I can think about some close friends I have who were with me in the industrial engineering, etc. So there are a few skills, I would say, that if you don't have them, you will not necessarily have an easy time in industrial engineering. So there is the common sense, like le sens de la logique. You need to have a very logic mindset. There is the sense of optimization. So if I think about my day-to-day, and I think I'm pushing it a little bit extreme, I am a little bit mad about optimization, to the point that sometimes I'm like, maybe you want to enjoy this a little bit further, even if it's not the optimal way of utilizing your time, etc. So I feel like I had this in my DNA, but studying 3 years of industrial engineering did not help me to let go a little bit that aspect of optimization. So there is, all this common sense, this planning. I think we went through a few exchanges just to set up the date of today's podcast. I love having visibility, and I know that the world is not perfect and that we cannot always have this visibility, but the being able to run the professional part of my life, obviously not all my life, it's not that easy, but in a structured, predictable, as much as possible predictable way is always something I'm seeking, and I guess it's an aspect of the curriculum, right? This is what we learn.
Yeah, interesting. So it is really integrated and still, I mean, from a day-to-day scale.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. So after that, you pursued your studies in France, right? How was the experience of studying abroad and getting out of l'EMP?
Listen, it went smooth, because as much as I didn't know what I wanted to do in details in terms of career, and if I can give one advice to the students today, it's don't put pressure on you to define something that you don't know. It's absolutely fine not to know. It's absolutely fine to leave the doors open, and it's absolutely fine to find out as we go. So I guess the most important is to have a high level idea of what you want your professional life to be. Are you into a startup type of role, or are you into a multinational, or are you into something else? But even that, if you don't know, don't put pressure on you saying, I mean, that's what I felt ashamed at that time, saying, you work well, you invest so much, you are so much engaged, but how come you don't know? It felt like something was wrong with me. So now this in terms of specialty, back to your question. How did it feel to leave the ENP and to pursue, in my case, it was École Centrale Paris, which was one of the top engineering schools in France, etc. So it came a little bit with an imposter symptom, because coming from Algeria and those grandes écoles in France with all the the selection and the filters they put in place, etc. So yeah, I think I went there not extremely confident, even if I did very well in ENP. But then, you quickly figure out that your the strength of the educational background that you were given here, there's nothing to be ashamed of, like really nothing. It was extremely smooth for me. Well, it was just a master, so I did not dig deep into any kind of topic. It was a few topics were already covered by ENP, but even the ones not covered, I felt pretty comfortable, and that was a little bit of a contrast with my mindset saying, oh my God, I'm going to Central Paris, we're gonna be surrounded by the top elite of France, etc. But at the end of the day, it was absolutely fine.
Nice. That was really inspiring, and it's I consider it powerful advice to give to students also. So to conclude this phase of, academic phase, do you remember a specific professor or moment? Whether from the MP or...
Listen, I have a very bad memory, and my professor needs to excuse me, because the reality is that, and I will not even limit the scope to the teachers I've met.
Experience.
Like my whole educational journey was full of inspiring people. I feel like all the professors, the teachers, and sometimes the mentors or that I met in my journey have been putting like feathers one after the other, and all together, they could make up the wings that I'm flying, thanks to which I'm flying today. So it's like the French expression, il faut tout un village pour élever un enfant. Like, il faut tout un village, you need a whole village to grow someone, but obviously all of this needs to be fed by hard work, and all of this will generate the opportunities. So back to your question, professors in ENP, of course, I'm not even sure whether they are still around or not. But the number one I will list is Mabrouk Aïb, who is today one of my closest friends. He was not a close friend when we were, he was my teacher, obviously, he was my teacher. But I remember Mabrouk, beyond the educational insights that he provided, I think he inspired many of us because he was someone who we could identify to. He was alumni, but not like that long ago. He was less than 10 years, difference in terms of promotion between us and him. He was occupying like a very good position at that time. I don't remember. It was in the energy industry, but he was also teaching in ENP. So it was extremely inspiring. And yeah, we didn't have at that time those kind of podcasts to see all the journeys of alumni and so on. But I remember listening to Mabrouk. It was a way for us to know what were our options going to be. There were also some brilliant teachers. I remember Mr. Boukabous. Is he still around?
Yes, he's around.
Okay. This one, econometry, I think he was teaching us. And if I remember, it means he really, it marked me because I have a very poor memory. But Mr. Boukabous, I remember, I think what was inspiring in him was not necessarily, he was a great teacher for sure, but there was all this engagement and commitment and energy he was putting in place, investing for us to understand, for us to succeed.
Yes.
So you could feel it, like he was full of energy. I don't know if he still have the same energy, but like his course was like super energizing. And to me, it represented a form of resilience, of perseverance, because I remember he was commuting from very far. I don't remember from where he was coming from, but it was not like
It's always the case.
Okay, so that aspect was inspiring. So sometimes it's not about the content of the curriculum. It's also the personalities that are here to show you the way and to show you the values that will help you in your journey. And then we had a lot. I remember Mr. Bouziane. Is he still around?
No, I don't think
Okay,
so.
he was teaching us, and I'm sorry again, I don't recall the exact words, but something to do with the stratégie de l'entreprise or something
Yes.
like this. And I remember we had his course on a Monday, and we always started his course debriefing on the Capital, which was the show the day before Sunday evening on M6, which was the French channel. And Capital was this, I don't know if it exists, if it still exists, but it was very often the theme was about the economy and the companies and the roadmaps of companies, etc. So it was a super nice way to get out from the theory and the formulas, etc., and to debrief with Mr. Bouziane, the capital of the show of the day before. And we had like Nasira Aboun, who was our department
She's your friend right now.
friend. I mean, she's she's
Almost.
clearly in my circle, definitely.
Yes.
And all of that was not the case, obviously, when I was a student. I was a
Yes.
student, and they were teachers.
Of course,
and,
yeah.
But yeah, that's what I mean by the whole community. So, I'm extremely grateful to all those people, and sometimes it's hard to put words into what a person brought you, but the reality is that they all did. Starting from my primary school teacher, I had this lady, Aniseti Ashur, for 6 years, and like, I cannot put words on what she inspired, and but I'm sure that a lot of what I am today is fueled by many values she taught me.
Yeah, we're really thankful at the end for this kind of professors that really contributing on integrating this kind of values and I don't know, values like hard working and always seeking the best. So
Yeah. Monsieur Bakalam as well.
Yes.
I loved his. I loved it so much that I don't remember what he was teaching me, but I remember that he had a super good academic skills and super good way of making the audience receive the message he was. Because sometimes you have teachers that are emitting messages, and the reception is not always there. But Mr. Bakalam, at least he was connecting with me.
Yes.
Whatever he was passing, I was very receptive, and I have good memories of his.
Yeah,
He's still
We're-
around?
No,
No?
it's not.
Okay.
It's not. Well, we're always thankful for this kind of
Definitely.
experiences.
Definitely.
No, concluding this, I don't know, so enriching academic and intensive academic phase. Now let's move forward to the professional career. So how was your first transition back to then? I mean, from studying at l'EMP and then Centrale Supélec and directly transited to the professional world.
Listen, it was again. Sometimes I feel that I was lucky, and I think I was lucky. But another advice to give to the student: don't rely on luck. I mean, luck at the end of the day is what? Is opportunities that are offered to you, and always keep in mind that opportunities are attracted by potential, by hard work. So basically, if someone is willing to bet on you, to offer you, Zakaria, this position in this company, etc., people are not running charities, right? People are also trying to look good, right? They are trying to find a win-win. So opportunities, I would invest in you if I see in you something that is worth for me investing in you. So what I'm trying to say is that, like, don't necessarily, to the students, rely on that component, in that element of uncontrolled opportunities, luck, whatever we call it. It exists, and you don't have control on that. But there is a heavy portion that is tied to it, and that you control is your hard work, is the way you present your work, the way you deliver results, and so on and so forth. So back to my professional
Transition.
journey. being in Centrale, and that was my strategy, like targeting the top engineering school in France so that I don't struggle
With work.
transitioning to the professional world. And it happened as expected. Alhamdulillah. I mean, it could have happened differently, but the reality is that during my 6 months of master's, there was a career fair in Centrale. I just dropped my CV. There were many companies, and I got many offers. And yeah, at the end of the day, I was attracted by the international aspect of SLB, and I accepted their offer, and I transitioned there as an intern. I started as an intern in April 2017 in SLB, and I did my 6-month internship, like always hardworking, doing the best I could give, and so on. And this has translated with an offer, an employment offer, a CDI, like indeterminate, how do you call this? Like full-time employee, not bounded in time offer. And then in SLB, basically they recruit what they call talents, in the sense that they don't recruit you for a specific, most of the time, and I'm sure it's the case for many companies, they recruit you as a potential person who will occupy X job, Y job, Z job, and so on. They are not really trying to find out the skills for this specific position. Of course, it happens, but for fresh outs, usually they recruit a potential. So the opening at that time was quality engineer. That was my first role in SLB, which was a bit stretch for me because I was assigned to some job where the technical aspect was pretty heavy. I was in charge of the quality of some suppliers delivering what we call PWAs, which are the electronic boards going high pressure, high temperature. So there was a lot of electronic specifications and so on, which I discovered. I had to learn to read a specification. And I was auditing the quality of those suppliers. So I had to build the credibility. And here another advice from a podcast will be full of advices. Make sure you find the right mentors in your educational journey, but also in your professional journey. This is like priceless, extremely priceless. Like the way I could grow and climb my learning curve in this specific roles or in many other roles was finding people who helped me. And that was priceless again. So I did this role for a couple of years, and then I moved to another role, which is a sourcing specialist. We design some tools, at least in the drilling part of SLB. It's a very broad company in the energy sector in general, but I was in the drilling part. So we design tools, high temperature, high pressure, and so on. So very high specs. To go and drill blindly under the surface, and I was in charge. And we don't manufacture internally, at least the tools I was in charge of. I had to find the right manufacturers who can deliver those parts that make up the tool. So for that as well, I had to switch hat and turn into a mechanical engineer and understand all kind of material in Cornell, this specification and this, is it compliant, is it... So that was also a stretch. And then an opportunity came. So I did okay, I did well in this role, and then this tool that I was working on got transferred to the UK. Those kind of moves happen in multinational companies. The strategy shifts. We decide that this technology center will become a center of excellence for those family of tools. It happened to me, and they offered me an opportunity of transfer. At that time, I had met my husband, who is SLB as well, in SLB. So he was also offered a job. We went 5 years in the UK, and then the journey continues. You work hard, you deliver, people start and continue trusting you. They bet on you, because each time it's a bet, it's a stretch. Each time you take risks on people. When you bring someone to a new position, you are taking risks, and you try to mitigate those risks, and you try to make sure that the person will be at the expected level and will be able to catch up. So 5 years in the UK, still in supply chain, managing suppliers, and then we moved to the US. I always stayed, like in the UK and in the US, I stayed as much as my working visa allowed me. So UK was 5 years, visa was 7 years and a half, and I continued the growth. Yeah, like if you look at my journey, yeah, each time I did stagnate in some occasions, and I think it's realistic. Another advice: don't expect to climb to the moon,
Directly.
since like there is no. You cannot start at 23 years old and only go up. It's you don't have those kind of position when you are 60, nothing to do, right? So you have to accept some. We should not call it stagnations, but I would say plateau from the hierarchical standpoint, but opening to other functions or opening to other things that you did not know. It happened to me. For example, I did planning after having done supply chain, etc. And you grow you fill your backpack. We call that backpack in SLB. Basically, you put some ingredients in your backpack that will arm you, that will give you the right weapons to go the next step up, which happened to me in this last move to Malaysia.
Yes.
To Malaysia, yeah, that was a little bit of a stretch, but it's working okay, and I love it. And it was a crazy stretch in the sense that it was not only job related. All those international careers, you not only have to climb your learning curve, but you are settling with the whole family in a continent that you don't know, in a country that you don't know. You need to settle your kids to school. You need to find your doctor. You need to find your baker. You reset the clock, and this is a huge amount of energy. This is extremely exciting, but it comes at a cost in terms of energy. But alhamdulillah, again, it's working well. I really enjoy it. It's a huge team, at least to me.
Yes.
It's a big team. It's a super interesting cultural exposure. My team is heavily Malaysian. I do have also a team in China and another one in Dubai. So from a cultural standpoint, I had to learn a lot because it's not for them to adapt to me. I am here, I'm new, and they are the majority. So I need to learn the new ways of handling the people and making them deliver, because their success is my success. I am not. What I do today is handling the procure to pay. Like in my center, we place purchase before placing purchase orders. We find the right suppliers for different things that SLB buys. We place the POs. We amend the POs. We move the goods from a location to the other. So there is the logistic component. We pay the suppliers. So there is the AP component, etc. I don't touch any PO. I don't move any goods. So if my team is not doing a proper work, my KPOs, my objective will be completely red. So there is my whole objective in this role is to make sure that the team is empowered to deliver in the best conditions, in the best work-life balance, and so on. So it seems like common sense, easy, but it's a full-time job.
Exactly, yeah. That seems really industrial heavy, sometimes leadership heavy.
Yeah.
So I would like to ask, I'm wondering, while evolving in this path and changing and at some point switching between many roles at your early beginning, how was this transition possible? Transiting from quality engineering to sourcing to then supply chain to even being a speaker. So I wonder what were the ingredients that you were putting in your backpack, if...
So listen, and again, this is not an advice in this case because we are not all the same. We need to respect all kind of ambitions, and some people will be extremely happy being SMEs, subject matter expert in this specific domain, and gain experience and climb the technical ladder to make sure that they are specialized more and more in that domain. That's not my case. I am, at least what helped that. I think the dynamics of the career growth in SLB offers those opportunities, and might not be only SLB, but I only know SLB so far. I think there are ingredients like curiosity. You need to remain intellectually curious. You need to express what you want. And again, it's not because I didn't know at 20 years old whether I wanted to do electronic, mechanical, or industrial engineer that I still don't know. I mean, the more I grow, the more I draw my path, and the more I know where my stick is put in the ground, and the more I am able to visualize what kind of journey would lead me the most efficient way to my objective, etc. So again, we need to respect, because not everyone is ambitious, have the ambition to reach high levels in companies, etc. There is, there are opportunities for all kind of profiles, I would say, as long as you perform, as long as you deliver and you work hard. But I think for me, what did enable that is, I guess you talked about speaker. Speaker is something I did reach out. So it came. SLB has sent me one day to a conference, and it was on planning. And I realized, well, listening, like, super insightful 2 days. And then I was like, Rim, what are you missing to be sitting there?
Yeah.
What are you missing? And at the end of the day, I was not missing much. It was a stretch, as usual. I like to be stretched. But I was not missing much. Obviously, presentation skills, soft skills is something you learn throughout your journey. And then, to be able to speak about a topic, I feel there is no better exercise than preparing for a presentation to be given in the conference, because you really dig deep into that specific subject, and you become much more knowledgeable. I'm not saying I become an expert just because I prepared for a couple of weeks on a topic, but I like this. I would say these challenges I set to myself, and then this knowledge sharing is something that is fueling me. And I like this diversity. I mean, I'm extremely engaged, committed in my day-to-day work in SLB, but I like also to see what's going on in this external world. Conferences are an excellent platform to experience this, etc. So pushing, that's what I do. I tend to go to less comfortable zones, push myself, and then, like in September, I'm presenting a super trendy topic. Not only trendy, like reality of our jobs today. I'm talking about AI in procurement. How is that reshuffling the dynamics of... So I'm working on this topic, and I'm learning a lot, and I am trying to bring those insights in my day-to-day job. So there is a lot of win-win. At least I find a lot of win-win, making sure that what I learn, I not only share externally, but I bring it back to work, and I try to get value out of it.
Yeah, that's interesting also. So you mentioned lately specializing when you specialized in supply chain. No, you're specializing in, I mean, you're occupying the role of head of supply chain services. So how did you see the field evolving through these years? And you mentioned also integrating the AI now. So how is
You
that
mean
your
the
case?
supply chain field?
Yes.
How I see
How
it?
is the field evolving, and now integrating AI? How is the experience?
Listen, I think we are still in the early days. If you look at it, at least, listen, that's only Rim talking. Huh? There's not... it's my opinion today, and I remain super open. Maybe in 1 year I will listen to myself and I was completely wrong. But what I feel today, like if we take the whole journey of AI and the potential of AI, we are early days.
Early days.
So there are a lot of prototypes in place. There are a lot of little things we are implementing to see how it could work. There are things that we are doing. When I say we, I'm not even talking about my company. I'm talking about the industry in general. I think today, across the board, there is no industry that is not pursuing efficiencies, cost saving, etc. And AI is offering this. Is offering this through a lot of efficiency, like anything, any task which are repeatable, any tasks which are not requiring that human touch, because AI can replace anything but the human touch, right? For example, managing a supplier, talking to a supplier, negotiating to the supplier, this is fundamental. And this, to my knowledge, I mean, as far as I know, AI will not be able to replace, right? But still, we can. AI can take over some scope of repeated tasks, automating, digitalizing, so on and so forth. And for us to use our skills more into the decision making, the thinking, the vision, and so on. So there is an expression that I don't recall well, but it says something like AI will not take over your role, but your role will be taken over by someone who can manipulate AI. So it's, I think, another advice to the student, don't be hermetic to all of this. And I know that that's not a risk for you. It's more the oldest generation. Sometimes we stick to what we know, the old style and so on. Unfortunately, today we don't have much other choice than to embrace, to some extent, to know how to collaborate with AI, because we need to utilize AI as a strength with some limitation from an ethics standpoint. From, there are some boundaries that we need to draw, and this you'll understand better once you'll be at the professional words, etc. There are things that you cannot just hand over to AI because it goes beyond certain boundaries from the ethics standpoint, from the legal standpoint, from the compliance standpoint, and so on. But really, advice, you guys need to, I don't know how we say this in English, apprivoiser, make sure you work hand in hand with AI, because that's, I believe, the reality of tomorrow. It's like it's gonna be a hybrid kind of collaboration.
Yes, I mean this ethical and compliance side is a strong concern right now for all of companies. So now Mrs. Remieux gave also an interesting advice another time. So what advice would you give to, I don't know, our listeners who are interested in international careers and who are interested in evolving internationally and occupying roles like you did in many regions? How was your experience back to then? How you lived this? What are the, necessary ingredients?
Okay. So first of all, I'm a firm, and I know I've been repeating this a lot today, but I'm a firm believer in meritocracy. So meritocracy meaning you get what you deserve. Obviously, life is not perfect, but your performance, your hard work, your achievements will speak for you. I mean, you still need to grow some soft skills, and I know at least my generation, we had to catch up. It was an area of improvement for me. I don't want to talk about the whole generation. When I started the professional world, presentation skills, networking, all those soft skills, I was not feeling equipped well enough. So those soft skills are important, but it needs to come with some content. You cannot just come and benchmark something that you did not do, because people are not stupid. I mean, it's good to talk well, but when the content is not there, you're gonna kill your credibility. I mean, not even having a credibility. So make sure you work hard, make sure you get the right mentors for the right advices, make sure you grow your soft skills from an international, this is to grow in general. Now, if you are interested in international care, you need to think about it, because Some people will not envy my lifestyle, which is 4 continents in the past 12 years or so. It's a little bit. My mom thinks I'm crazy. I love it, but I think at some point I would like to settle at some point because it's energy consuming. But for now, it's just amazing because it offers opportunities, exposures to culture, to places, and so on. So advice is you need to know what to expect because it's not all expat life is not all pink and there are some challenges, the distance to the family, the distance to your country, not being there for important events, etc. So you need to balance that and to make sure that this is what you want, right? And then adaptability, super important. As I said, I have a huge team of heavily Malaysians. I need to adapt to the way they think, they do, what motivates them. Like Malaysia, food is a huge thing. If I want to engage with people, etc., I cannot come to a town hall or a meeting without at least a snack. It's just the way it is. It's okay. I mean, at the beginning I was like, what's going on here? But they love celebration and they take it super seriously. I'm talking about Malaysia. It can be something else in the US. But you need to adapt. If you don't have this open mindset to, like, if you have the mindset of my way or the highway, just move on because it's not gonna work. You need to be open. You need to be flexible. You need to be good with change management because there is nothing, requiring more change management than just resetting your clock. You've been living in Algeria for 20 plus years. You know where your mechanic, your doctor is. You know where your auntie works and where to park in front of the school and then you restart from scratch. Sometimes not even talking the language. So you need to have this open mind. And if you like that, I mean, I feel sometimes I have the feeling of having lived many lives because things are so different. And back to an international career, not everyone gets the opportunity to go international. It's all fed by the hard work and giving the right visibility to your work without falling into the pitfall of becoming arrogant, because there is nothing worse than arrogance at work. And if you think about all our success story, there is a book that I wrote about, I don't know if you know about it, Constellation du Ciel d'Algérie, which is some super amazing success stories of Algerian people, whether they are in Algeria or abroad. Like you have ministers, you have Nourdine Melikchi, who is a physicist in NASA, you have Nourdine Taibi is part of Constellation du Ciel d'Algérie and so on, like brilliant people. And the denominator among those people is how humble they are. So there is nothing, I mean, really strong advice. Be humble, be visible, give a visibility to what you do and so on, grow your soft skills, grow your network, but always remain down to earth because it's very annoying to deal with arrogant people.
Okay, that's really powerful advice again. So now drilling down a bit in your career, how does it really reflect, I mean, your current position, how does it reflect in a day-to-day scale?
Okay.
For interested listeners again.
Okay, so we are talking 18 years down the road, it's good. It's always good to have some vision if this path, this journey is interesting to you. So my day to day, I go to the office 4 days a week. And on Friday I am at home and I do my work because the 4 days a week I do a lot of people interaction. So again, the team is big and making sure that my team is engaged, that they are having the right opportunities, that they have the right training, that they so it's a lot of people engagement. And there is a good portion of strategy. So for example, we are always trying to rethink the way we can be more efficient. We can And being more efficient does not necessarily mean cutting jobs or so. No, you can do things with. You can do more with the same people. You can utilize AI, for example, to take away some heavy lifting task, repetitive task, and use your talents to generate more value. So there is all this, those strategic aspects of my role where at this level of maturity, not that I reached the top, not at all. I'm not at all at those levels of the company where we design the whole company strategy. But I think I am reaching a point where my voice starts to count in the design of the supply chain of the company. So giving. For example, taking over some scope from some locations, doing it individually in different countries, centralizing it in my hub, running some business cases to show the value added and so on. So there is, just to backtrack, there is the people element in my day-to-day job, there is the strategic element in my day-to-day job. What am I doing too? And there is the customer satisfaction, what we call customer in our, we as a supply chain professionals, we deliver a service. We deliver a service to support a business. So you need to make sure, another advice for people listening to us today, another advice is we need to make sure that in the professional world, make sure that you look after what we call the 360. The 360 means that as an employee, you need to make sure that you have good relationship with your manager and that you are working toward the objectives of your manager. There's no point seeking objectives which are not aligned with your manager, because you're not helping him and he will not, or she will not help you. So making sure that you take care of that management up, make sure that you look after your team, because you don't achieve anything without a motivated team, without an engaged team, and make sure that you look after your peers and customers, because your image depends on the level of service that you deliver to your customer. Your peers, you would need your peers. You cannot, teamwork is so critical. You cannot achieve, even yourself and your team, you cannot achieve in isolated from other functions, so you need to keep good relationship with those people and so on. So make sure that you look after your 360, and a portion of my role is also to check on my customers, to see what does good look like for them, to see how I can adapt to their needs while keeping my objectives aligned with what my management is seeking, and so on and so forth. It's extremely interesting. I have more than half of my team is less than 30 years old, so there is this growth and development element. Obviously, there are maybe 3 or 4 layers under me, so I'm not here dealing with every single person every day. I just cannot, the team is too big. But my door is open, and I like seeing those people growing. Sometimes they are seeking an advice, they knock at my door, and you can see you can see that something got unlocked in their thinking, etc.
Yes.
And this is extremely rewarding. At least this is what I find the most rewarding in my role.
Before ending our episode, we would like to, know about your future aspirations and projects on the personal level, I guess.
Okay, so let's move. You're right. We talked enough about professional.
Professional, yeah.
Enough.
We hadn't.
No, from the personal aspect, I have another one. I'll talk about myself. So yeah, who am I? I'm a mom. I am a wife. I am a daughter. I am this and that. And women in general, it can be men, but we try to tick all those boxes to be perfect everywhere. So first advice: don't seek perfection. It does not exist, and it can only weigh you down. When you figure out that, guess what, you could not be there at the celebration of your daughter, or it was the matching socks, pink and blue, and you sent them in black. Fine. You sometimes you just are not perfect, and this is Okay, so that's a first advice. Second, from my perspective, I just wanted to share that I am, as I said it in the beginning, I am passionate about literature, and I write. I write a lot. Since 10 years I wrote my first novel,
Yeah.
which will be published like in the book fair, international book fair, inshallah,
It is
in
your first
November.
writing.
It's
It is your first writing.
it's my first book that I wrote in 2016.
Okay.
So I wrote all those novels, maybe 5 novels, but I auto-published them. But today we have Barzakh, publisher, who accepted my first novel, and it's gonna be the event of le SILA, right? Le Salon International du
Well,
Livre.
this was the spoiler of the episode, so
Spoiler.
I mean,
So-
they will
so-
get the news.
So what I'm trying to say here is that, writing, I did write this Constellation du Ciel d'Algérie, which is not a novel. I wrote the memoir of Nourdine Melikchi, one of the most insightful experiences in my life, like to have the opportunity, the chance to write the life of someone so insightful. It was a 3 years project, and it was just amazing, and we have it ready today.
Ready,
so
yes.
so this is extremely, I mean, I'm super proud of what we achieved. Now back to that. When I was like starting my career in SLB, or it could have been something, another company than SLB, I tended to hide this passion that I had. Why? Because writing is very time consuming, because writing is I didn't want to give the perception that I was prioritizing something on top of my work or taking time from my work, etc. And I was writing and sharing with my close circle, etc., and being extremely discreet in regards to all of that. And then writing the memoir of Nourdine Melikchi, Professor Melikchi, he told me an advice at that time in the 80s that his professor told him in the UK. He was doing his PhD, which is, don't limit yourself in your passions. You can be bright doing something, but it does not prevent you from doing something else and being bright not that I'm saying that I'm bright in anything, but talking about him. And then I realized that I needed to speak up a little bit more. I mean, there was no reason why I should not speak up about my passion of writing. And I realized that analyzing this whole situation, which was wrong, why hiding such a thing, I realized that this writing, I write from 4 to 6 a.m. every morning. So that's my little therapy. And I guess it's a
Ritual.
It's a ritual, yeah. And I realized that I need that. And I'm sure it has some positive impact on my work, because it's my oxygenation, it's my...
Connection.
It's my, it's my opportunity to do something else, to change my way of perceiving things, etc. It can be painting, it can be music, it can be sport. Like, don't limit yourself. It's not because you are fully invested in something that you cannot be passionate about something else and grow in that something else, etc. Now, the trick and the most critical thing is to be able to manage your priorities. So another advice, maybe a final one, make sure that you reset your priorities frequently. Because today, Zakaria, you are, I don't know, I have no idea about your personal life, but maybe you have graduating from Polytech is number one priority. So you're working extremely hard, you're dedicated, you're sacrificing your social life. Maybe you're not dating with anyone because you need to be focused. I have no idea, but maybe this is today your priority. Tomorrow you'll be a father or a husband, etc. For a couple of years, you might switch those priorities. The year after, so make sure you remain flexible, and you do this routine exercise every, I don't know, 3 months, 6 months, etc. to make sure that your priorities are set, aligned with what you are trying to achieve. Otherwise, we get swollen in a day-to-day, so busy that you don't take the time to step back, and then you're still pursuing a priority which at the end of the day is not anymore.
Yes.
So make sure that you think about all of that. And obviously, yes, I am publishing a book. I am being promoted to this role. I cannot have it all. Like currently, I'm writing the memoir of my father. With all what's going on, I had to hold. I had to put it on hold. I'll come back to it when the situation will be more stable. It doesn't mean that my passion is not so important anymore. It just means that life is like that. Tomorrow you'll have kids. They will become your priority for a few. They will always be priority, of course. But some phases in their life, they will need you more.
Yes.
So make sure you reset frequently your priorities.
Yeah, that was indeed an interesting reminder for, all of us, since we unfortunately forgot most of the time this thing exactly, and it can lead to catastrophic effects. So
Inshallah, not catastrophic, but
sometimes,
sometimes you invest a lot and you realize that you did not invest in the right
Yes.
thing, and this is like a waste of time.
Well, I'll start applying this 3 months
Do.
thing.
I mean,
Yes.
find the periodicity that works for you, but do it.
Yes. At the end of this, I'm really inspired, listening all of this and getting always inspired by the value of adaptability and flexibility that I imagine pushed you hard. So within that, we can give, an appointment for our listeners about your next book. They can find it.
Wow! Are
Yeah.
we doing that?
I don't know.
Sure. I
decide.
mean, I'm more than happy, and the okay, I won't spoil it more, but the story is about people from more or less your age, and it happens in Algeria, not far from El Harrach.
Okay.
So yeah, whatever you have in mind, share it.
No, nothing. But can we have an appointment when we can access the book?
Sure. So the book will be the release of the book will be the Salon International du Livre d'Alger, donc le SILA. I think for now I have 2 dates for signing that, like the Vente Dédicace, which is 1st and 7th of November, inshallah.
Okay.
But the book, I think the SILA starts on the 29th of October, something like this. Google will tell you better than me. And I'll be back, inshallah, from Malaysia to witness this event. It's the first time for me. And I'll be extremely happy to see as many many of you.
So we're sadly coming for an end of this episode. I can't express how I'm really thankful for, attending and assisting you and hosting with you this episode. It was indeed so inspiring and enriching. Do you have anything to say for the end?
No, honestly, I think I said a lot. I hope I
sound-
did not say too much.
Okay.
But no, thank you for having me again. And I wish when I was a student I could listen to stories just to improve my visibility of what can good look like for me and so on. So you guys are doing a great job, not only through the podcast and the interviews, but sometimes
The activity.
everything that you do, I think it's bringing a lot of value. And again, sometimes you cannot really describe and put some words on like what is that value, but I can tell you that I wish I was in ENP at this time with such a dynamic and engaged and professional industrial engineering club. So really well done and keep it up. And I know, inshallah, you'll be soon gone and some others will take over. So make sure this is sustained and this keeps growing because it's extremely helpful. So well done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Well, we're honored to have this witness. And within that, we are coming officially to conclude this episode. So thanks for our listeners for tuning up with us. We hope you enjoyed this experience sharing. And you can find us at next episodes, inshallah. And thanks also to the Mad Diffusion studio for having us. So at next time.